So hello everyone, my name is Mohiuddin Khan and I'm a pre-final year computer engineering undergrad at the Aligarh Muslim University. So this presentation is made in part of our colloquium lab and my partner is Muhammad Anas. So our topic is genetic programming. So first of all, the introduction of genetic programming, what genetic programming is. So as we know, as the natural organisms do evolution in order to adapt to the environment. So it is basically a type of evolutionary approach. So here's a one definition for this. Genetic programming is an evolutionary approach that extends genetic algorithms to allow the exploration of the space of computer programs. Just like other evolutionary algorithms, GP works by defining a goal in the form of a quality criterion and then using this criterion to evolve a set of candidate solutions by mimicking the basic principles of Darwinian evolution. So it is basically inspired by the natural organisms, the way natural organisms do evolution in order to adapt to the environment by changing their DNA structure. And so the same way this is done to make computer programs that evolve by themselves to get better and better and perform better in certain tasks. So genetic programming has been successfully applied to a number of challenging real world problem domains. Its operations and behavior are now reasonably well understood thanks to a variety of powerful theoretical results. So it is as we will see in the presentation later, that it has sometimes beaten the standard neural networks and other regression techniques in order to find the best possible solution for certain problems. So there's another definition for genetic programming. Genetic programming is an automatic programming technique for evolving computer programs that solve problems. Starting with thousands of randomly created computer programs, a population of programs is progressively evolved over many generations. So the same way the natural organisms work, like there's a population of programs and then evolution starts, and then then the programs are evolved and evolved and evolved, and the best program is certainly being created at the end. So here's the flow chart of the genetic programming, how it works. So first of all, we start, then we have a starting population of random programs, then we will estimate fitness of each individual program, then we will have a terminating criteria or a benchmark. Like after that fitness, we don't have to follow the next criteria, so after that we will end the program. But if the criteria doesn't follow, which will not follow in the first generation, so we will go through this. We will select some individual, like we will select some programs, we will select the genetic operator. So there are many genetic operators, but we will discuss here two of them, that is crossover operator and mutation operator. So what is crossover in natural organisms? There is two species combined. So there's a crossover, two species combined to form a third species, and here that is termed as crossover to and then it evolves. The same way in mutation there is no need of second species. The species evolve by themselves by changing the DNA structure. So these are two types of operator. In the crossover, two programs combine to form the third program, and in mutation the same program is mutated into another one, and it is a better version from the previous one. So the same process is followed again and again till the termination criteria is reached, and if it is reached, then the program ends and we have the best possible solution. So what is the motivation of doing this program, motivation of doing genetic programming? So like we can see, there are many points there, but there are much more points than these which are written over here. Like it can find fit solution in very less time. It is very fast approach, and the best part of the genetic programming, which I like the most, is that the random mutation guarantees to some extent that we see a wide range of solution. Like there, as we can see, there's a huge population of programs, and then the evolution starts. So as we reach to the end of the evolution, we find many programs that are very good solution to that problem. And so we see a very wide range of solution. Also there are many more advantages, like easy to discover global optimum and avoid trapping in local optima. That's a very good advantage of genetic programming. Good choice for large scale wide variety of optimization problem. So yeah, optimization problems are done by genetic programming. The concept is very easy to understand, as it is following the same natural phenomena, and use fitness score, which is obtained from objective function without other derivative or auxiliary information, so it does not include that complex functions. It's a very good thing about that. So here we are in the technical details. So genetic programming involves computer programs traditionally represented in memory as tree structures. So trees can be decoded very easily. So it forms basically tree structures to form the functions, because it is very easy to evaluate. As a beginner in genetic programming, there are many types of genetic programming, like linear based, Cartesian based, tag based. But however, as a beginner, one should go with the tree based genetic programming, because it provides a visual experience to the person, and one gets to know what's going inside. So like when we can decode this tree very easily, this is the left one is the primary, and the right one, take it as left one as primary and the right one is secondary. So x is divided by 11, 2.2 minus x divided by 11. So this whole term is x divided by 11, 2.2 is minus, this plus operator is so take it as sub expression trees. So cos of y, 7 into cos of y, x divided by 11, 2.2 minus x divided by 11, and then these two expression trees are joined by this plus. So this plus. So here is the method how we decode these expression trees. It is very easy. And so the next part will be explained by my partner Muhammad Anas.
Thanks, Mohiddin. Scope of genetic programming. GP is especially useful in domains where the exact form of solution is not known in advance, or approximate solution is acceptable. Whether the interrelationships among the relevant variables are unknown or poorly understood. We can use genetic programming when we have 100 of variables and we cannot decide a relationship between them. We can also use it when size and shape of the solution is our ultimate goal, or it is a major part of the problem. Some of the applications of GP are curve fitting, data modeling, symbolic regression, and feature selection classification. Genetic programming algorithm produces results that are better than human produced results in some instances. We call them human competitive results. There has been 73 examples where we have a case where genetic programming has beaten the human produced results. Now come to the uses of genetic programming. First is optimization. When we have to find maximum or minimum of a quantity, we can use genetic programming to find the optimized solution. We also use genetic programming in economics. We use it to predict the stock prices, cobweb model, game theory, equilibrium resolution, and asset pricing. We also use it in machine learning, where we discuss genetic programming to solve various regression classification models. We also use in bioinformatics, like DNA analysis, where we use genetic programming to determine the structure of DNA using spectrometric data about the sample. Research directions. There has been instances of using genetic programming to predict financial data. We read a paper that describes the use of genetic programming in Japanese stock market to forecast price data. The aim of this task is to select the best stocks to determine when and how many stocks to sell to purchase when making an investment to maximize the profit. It describes how successfully GP is applied to predict stock data so as to gain high profit. Comparative experiments are conducted with neural networks, and it has shown us that genetic programming approach was way better than the conventional neural network approach. Again, we read a paper that describes a way to use genetic programming to find a fault in a software system. We used Promise Data Repository, which had data related to 10 different softwares and their faults. Whole database was divided into 2 by 3 into trained dataset and 1 by 3 into the test dataset. GPU was trained over the training datasets, and then the model was used to validate on the test dataset for validation. GPU was optimized by tuning the control parameters of each training sets. The results showed us that the proposed model is able to predict the number of faults with high accuracy than the conventional AI approaches. Now, in conclusion, we want to say that AI techniques that we use conventionally can be replaced by genetic programming conveniently, and we have high or better results in terms of accuracy and robustness. So it is very interesting for us that we can use genetic programming as an alternative to normal or conventional AI techniques. Thank you.